off.
Yeah, well, that, me old mate, is a long, sad story. There I was, quietly minding my own business when the D's come knocking on the door, acting on a tip-off. Well, what can you do? They found half a kilo of hash in my linen cupboard, or so they said.
So who set you up?
Haven't a clue.
Could have been the cops.
Well, I don't see why. I've always gotten along very well with the local constabulary. I give them a few bucks every year for their local Christmas fund, and they ring me if there's a bust on. I didn't even know the guy that booked me, Detective Sergeant Ryan. Can't imagine why he'd want to send me down. Now the mongrels landed me with 12 months.
What made you think you'd get off?
A misguided faith in human nature, Judy. A client of mine with friends in high places always swore he'd get me off the hook if ever I needed it.
Yeah, trust a man to let you down, huh?
Well, mind you, we did have a bit of a blue a few months ago. I thought it was all over and forgotten, but obviously it wasn't.
Is there anyone else that's got it in for you?
Oh, I've trodden on a few toes in my time, but I can't think of anyone who'd be willing to dump a pound of hash to set me up. No, the only thing I can think of is that someone stayed in my flat the last time I was in and they left it behind.
You're not telling me you left your flat open?
Of course. A lot of my friends have got keys. People come, people go.
And leave a load of hash for you to get busted with. Well, that's nice friends.
Listen, honey, why don't you appeal?
Oh, how? What can you do when you're caught with the stuff?
Well, you could ask to see a solicitor, find out what your chances are.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Well, I suppose so.
Have a word with Faulty Faulkner. He'll tee it up for you.
No time like the present.
Mr. Faulkner, when can I see the governor?
What about?
I want to speak to my solicitor about an appeal.
All right, I'll see you later for you.
Vic, I think I'm going to need your help.
Sure, what for?
We've got to collect all the writing material in the place. Pens, pencils, writing pads, everything.
What on earth for?
To stop B. Smith writing a stupid article for the newspaper.
But that's ridiculous. I mean, what about the Weekly Star and personal letters?
Well, they'll be able to write in the rec rooms in the evenings. Then we'll have to collect everything again. Come on, we'll start with Smith's.
They'll only pinch stuff from the workshops.
Then we're going to have to be extra careful, aren't we? You can check Burns' stuff. Who sent it the newspapers this morning?
Steve Faulkner, why?
I think he's got a bit of explaining to do.
I'm sorry, all I know is that I threw the clippings into the waste paper bin. All of them.
Then how do you explain this in Smith's cell?
Oh, it's pretty screwed up. She must have got it out of the bin somehow.
The women don't have access to reception.
Mrs. Morris took one of the clippings out of reception to show Mrs. Davidson.
Which is still here. Now, this clipping either came from reception or somehow found its way into the prison.
I'm sorry, I just can't help. The women seem to have a magical touch when it comes to getting things in and out of the prison. Well, how did Smith get the article out of the dispatch in the first place?
I'm looking into that matter.
Yeah, perhaps they wouldn't break the rules so often if there are a few less rules to break.
Mr. Faulkner, when I gave you the job of looking after the prison newspaper, I expected you to help the women in general, not encourage one woman to start a public crusade against the prison system. I appreciate your views about the gagging of the press, but unfortunately such niceties do not exist in penal institutions. Your job is to help the inmates and administration. If you find this duty is beyond your ideals, then I suggest you start looking for employment elsewhere.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
I am prepared to give you the benefit of the doubt regarding this article. But in future, would you please ensure that all clippings are destroyed?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, here's another batch of office fodder for the public service. What's the matter, love? You've been down all day.
Oh, it's nothing, Jude. Just me getting old.
Oh, come off it. You're not over the hill yet.
Look, at my age, in the game I'm in, you can go downhill at any point.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's not exactly the job you get long service leave for.
12 months in here. I can say goodbye to Smart's catering services. I was planning on a nice little nest egg from that.
Hey, listen to this.
Hazel Kent's written a poem. I used to be a mother with 2 delightful kids until I started thieving and landed on the skids. But now I'm just a number, and both my kids are gone. Their lives are speeding past me, and my time just drags on.
Geez, that's real good, Bea.
Poor old Hayes. How's she ever going to get over losing her kids? Well, have you got everything ready for tomorrow, Bea? We can start setting it up tomorrow.
Yeah, well, except for my contribution, but I'll work on that tonight and myself. I've got plenty to work on since I've spoken to Helen. And we might be able to stir the screws up a bit and find out why they kept you in isolation so long.
All right, everyone, line up. You'll be searched one at a time.
Oh, what for? Well, what's all this about?
From now on, all writing materials are only allowed in the rec room between 6 and 8 in the evening.
What? You're kidding.
But I've got all the stuff for the prison newspaper to work on tonight.
So do it in the rec room. I'll take it there for you.
Oh, 2 hours. Whoopee!
I was going to write a letter.
You can do that in the rec room.
You'll do something about this, Bea.
Yeah, and I think I know what. Everyone been given the drum?
Come on, ladies, off to the rec room. Well, come on, wake up, it's telly time.
And what's going on here?
Search me, I think rigor mortis has set in.
All right, everyone, come on, move out. The bell's gone. Okay, Smith, what's this all about?
I thought you'd never ask. We want to talk to the governor. We would have dropped her a note, but we couldn't find any papers or pens.
Oh, don't be so childish. Drag them out, one by one.
Sorry, I don't think I can do it.
Well, round one, do I say?
Yeah. Round 2, seconds out of the ring.
I'm sorry if this restriction seems petty to you, but you only have yourselves to blame. You can't blatantly ignore the regulations and expect to get away with it.
Well, in that case, Mrs. Davidson, you've got a strike on your hands. If the department wants to act like a pack of kids, we can do the same. There'll be no work done in the laundry or the workshop until we get our writing materials back.
There is one condition I insist on. If I rescind the order, there are to be no more unauthorized articles sent to the dispatch. If you wish something sent, it is to be brought to me and sent in the usual way.
And what have you done to prove of what I write?
Then you will be given the opportunity to rewrite it, or I shall edit it.
So much for freedom of the press.
Everyone shut up.
That is my final offer. Take it or leave it.
What do you reckon?
Hell no, let's stay here.
They can't do that.
Tell them to stick it, I reckon.
I don't know. Do we get our stuff back straight away?
Yes?
Okay. Come on, girls, let's go.
Damn it, Bea, we should have stayed in there.
Yeah, I reckon we could have screwed him for a whole lot more.
Could we? By the time we've raced around the prison looking for a stub of pencil, a bit of loo paper to write on, we could have set up the whole newspaper. What have we got to lose? Davo usually plays fair with us. Let's give her a go. But if she does jump on everything that we write, then we're back to square one. But at least we'll have had time to stash away a few writing pads and pens in case they try and do it again.
Mrs. Davidson, when can I see you about my appeal?
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Faulkner was going to tee it up for me.
Look, I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. She asked for a visit from her solicitor.
Very well, Smart. I'll phone him and ask him to come in. Mr. Saunders, isn't it?
That's right. Thanks.
Mr. Faulkner, in future try to remember these things. It may not be important to you, but it is to the women.
What a day. I get the distinct impression I'm not the prison's most popular officer today.
Look, I'm sorry about the